Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that, honestly, affects millions of us but is so rarely understood. We're talking about social anxiety. We're going to completely demystify this fear and give you a really clear, actionable roadmap. And this is all based on Dr. Aziz Gazipura's incredible framework for building unshakable confidence. So if you've ever felt held back in any kind of social situation, you are absolutely in the right place. Let's get into it.
So, think about this for a second. Have you ever walked into a crowded room, maybe a party, or even a high-stakes business meeting, and suddenly felt this invisible wall hit you? You know the feeling, right? Your heart just starts racing, your hands get all clammy, your mind goes completely blank, and then there's that agonizing little whisper in the back of your head telling you everyone is watching you, they're judging you, and they're basically just waiting for you to fail. It is such a suffocating, incredibly uncomfortable physical and mental experience. But here's the absolute most important thing you need to hear right now. If you experience this, you are not alone, and you are definitely not broken.
And that brings us to a massive paradigm shift. Dr. Aziz Gazipura completely rejects the idea that you were just simply born shy or awkward. Listen to this. Social anxiety is not a permanent, unchangeable flaw in your DNA. It is literally just an outdated, primitive survival radar. It's a learned habit. And well, the beautiful thing about learned habits, they can absolutely be unlearned.
Okay, so here is our masterclass syllabus for today. 1. The social anxiety myth. 2. Silencing the internal critic. 3. Dropping your safety behaviors. 4. Presence over prediction. 5. Climbing the fear ladder. And 6. Building authentic social connection.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the social anxiety myth, unlearning the flawed DNA theory.
You see, the common myth out there is that this fear is just a permanent personality trait hardwired right into your DNA. But the reality? It's just an outdated survival program. Think about it. Our primitive ancestors actually depended on the tribe for survival, right? Being cast out literally meant certain death. So our brains developed this super powerful radar to monitor our social standing. When you have social anxiety, that ancient survival radar is just, well, it's hypersensitive. It's misinterpreting totally normal social situations, like say just asking a question in a meeting, as life or death emergencies. Your nervous system is reacting as if you're stepping right into a tiger cage. So you aren't defective. Your brain is really just trying a little too hard to keep you alive.
Moving on to Section 2, silencing the internal critic. Confronting your toughest auditor.
Now, we need to pinpoint the main antagonist operating inside your own mind. It's what Dr. Aziz calls the internal critic. This is that relentless, exhausting internal voice that keeps your nervous system in a constant state of threat. Before an event even happens, it predicts total disaster. During the event, it acts like this harsh auditor, right? Scrutinizing every hand gesture and facial expression you make. And honestly, the worst part? The post-event review. You know what I mean, right? That's when you're driving home, replaying every tiny pause or stumbled word in just excruciating detail. Now, this critic was actually built from your past painful experiences. Maybe it was a harsh teacher or a childhood bully, as a really bizarre way to shield you. The logic was kind of like, hey, if I attack myself first, I can protect myself from surprise rejection. But the truth is, it doesn't protect you at all. It just tortures you.
So this inner critic essentially feeds on 3 toxic core beliefs, which we can totally dismantle with rational reality. First, instead of believing I am inherently flawed, we have to shift to the reality I am enough. Second, instead of believing others are harsh judges, rationally stop and ask yourself, is that actually true? No, other people are mostly just consumed with their own daily problems and their own insecurities. And finally, if you feel like rejection is fatal, remind yourself that rejection is merely a temporary preference expressed by someone else. It has absolutely zero objective power over your worth. By exposing these deep, unconscious assumptions to real, rational scrutiny, you start building a brand new foundation of self-worth.
All right, Section 3, dropping your safety behaviors, the illusion of protection.
Right now, you might be trying to cope with these anxious feelings through what we call direct avoidance. This is declining invites, skipping networking events entirely, that sort of thing. And sure, while this gives you instant relief, every single time you avoid a situation, you're actually training your brain to fear it even more, which just shrinks your comfort zone. Or on the flip side, you might be relying on subtle safety behaviors. This is when you show up, but you kind of hide. You stare at your phone, you hold your drink super tightly across your chest, or you do this thing called performance politeness. That's putting on a fake, overly pleasant smile and just agreeing with absolutely everyone to be harmless. These sneaky little behaviors completely drain your energy, they keep you constantly editing yourself, and they prevent any kind of authentic exposure.
To achieve real freedom, you have to systematically identify and shed every single one of these protective shields. You literally have to step into the social world completely uncovered. Because here's the thing, when you rely on safety behaviors, even if an interaction goes absolutely perfectly, your brain credits the mask you wore, not the real you. Dropping them is how you finally discover that you can actually survive and even thrive just being your authentic self.
Let's look at Section 4, Presence over Prediction, Escaping the Mental Prison.
People dealing with social anxiety often get totally trapped in internal prediction. That's walking into a room and immediately calculating what to say next, evaluating how you look, and trying to guess what everyone else is thinking. It's this paralyzing trap that totally detaches you from reality. So the solution here is external presence. You have to bring your full sensory awareness into the current moment. Look at the actual color of the other person's eyes. Listen deeply to the tone of their voice. Literally feel the weight of your feet on the floor. When you shift your focus outward onto the environment around you, you enter this amazing flow state where your natural, spontaneous intelligence just takes over.
But, what happens when you make a mistake while you're trying to be present? Well, that brings us to this incredibly powerful idea. Self-criticism breeds shame. Radical self-acceptance is the antidote. So many of us think self-criticism is this necessary motivational whip. It's really not. It just causes paralysis. You need to adopt what we call the supportive friend attitude. Think about a child learning to walk. When they fall down, you don't yell at them, right? You encourage them. You must give yourself that exact same permission to make mistakes without the fear of agonizing internal punishment later. If a joke lands flat, just take a breath, be kind to yourself, and just move on.
All right, Section 5, Climbing the Fear Ladder, Taking Systematic Action.
Listen to this. Confidence is not a prerequisite to action. It's the direct result of it. You cannot just think your way out of social anxiety. You actually have to use exposure therapy. So start by ranking your fears on a scale from 1 to 10. Now don't jump straight to a level 10 fear, like delivering a massive speech. That is just going to cause total panic. Start at step 1, a level 3 fear. This could be simply making eye contact and smiling at a cashier. And you repeat this until your body naturally habituates to the anxiety and realizes, oh wait, I am safe. Then you move up to step 2, a level 5 fear, like asking a total stranger for directions. You just gradually build your way up that ladder.
And as you climb that ladder, you have to apply the lean-in principle. When you step into a fear-inducing situation and your heart really starts pounding, do not try to push it away. Actually move directly toward that physical sensation. Welcome the adrenaline. Tell yourself, my body is ramping up energy to help me grow right now. I am willing to feel uncomfortable. Discomfort isn't a red light. It's actually the ultimate green light, signaling that you are successfully expanding your boundaries.
Finally, Section 6, Building Authentic Social Connection, Mastering the Mechanics.
Let's rapidly break down some concrete, mechanical, social skills you need to navigate any room with totally natural ease. First up, expressive, open body language. Stand tall, pull those shoulders back, and uncross your arms. This physical shift literally alters your brain chemistry. It lowers your cortisol and instantly boosts your confidence. Second, asking open-ended questions. Ask how or why to invite stories. This takes the pressure totally off of you while making the other person feel super valued. And third, self-disclosure and vulnerability. Don't just interrogate people, right? Share your own thoughts, your feelings, and those small, authentic details about your own life.
And here's a beautiful truth that really builds on everything we've talked about today. Authenticity is far more magnetic than perfection. Honestly, so many of us think we have to present this flawless, super polished image to be liked. But perfection actually creates distance. When you share your true feelings, and even your funny little stumbles, it removes all that pressure and creates a really deep, immediate connection. People relate to real humans, for sure, not polished robots.
So, to ensure your confidence remains unshakable over time, you really need to lock in some continuous lifestyle habits. First, celebrate every courageous action. If you approach a stranger and it ends up being super awkward, you still win because you actually stepped into the arena. Celebrate the effort, not just the outcome. Second, engage in daily micro-exposures. Hold eye contact just a second longer than usual, or say hello in the elevator. You've got to keep your social courage sharp. And third, build a supportive environment. Surround yourself with people who truly accept your authenticity, and definitely limit your time with anyone who fuels your self-doubt.
The door to your mental prison has literally been unlocked this entire time.
All you have to do is quiet that inner critic and step out. So I want to leave you with this one question to think about. What is one small micro-exposure you can take today to unlock the door of your mental prison? Find your level 3 fear, lean into that adrenaline, and take that very first step into your new life of freedom today.